Hola! Hope everybody's doing well. Merry Christmas. What I wish to do is just have you look back and maybe close your eyes and think about something where you've had an issue with your public service, whether it be an agency of the government, some kind of NGO that has contracted in public-private partnership that now thinks they own you. But anyways, just close your eyes for a second and think, okay, because I'm sure everyone has had an issue with a public service or a corporation that acts as a public service or a society or organ that acts as a public service. Now, have you guys noticed that there's so much bitching going on? Like, there's a lot of bitching going on. And so did you bitch at the time that you were having issues with, let's call it, the establishment? So did you bitch at the time? Now, you probably got on the phone, you probably complained, you probably yelled. But there's something that Carl had taught me a number of years back, and it took a while to sink in. And so I've actually made it a lifestyle. So just thinking back, keeping in mind just one instance where you've had an issue with some kind of public service, and all the stuff you did to try and correct it. But the one thing that Carl did bring to my mind, and which I've implied or instilled or implemented into my life. I like instilled. Implemented. Oh shit, that's like 4 syllables. I don't like words like that. Too many syllables. But just keeping in mind that what happened at the time, and what Carl had brought to my attention, well, I guess it's years ago now, it's not what you do, but what you don't do that does cause the trouble in your life. So, if I may, let's say everything that's going on right now. Like, has somebody been held in servitude? Have you ever been held in servitude against your wish? Or have you ever put yourself into voluntary servitude without realizing that you had a choice not to volunteer? You see, everything, because slavery is outlawed in all its forms on this land, okay, servitude is slavery. Servitude is a form of slavery. It's actually a French Anglo word. Up here in the Great White North. Oh, geez, you know what I did the other day? I'm sorry, I wish to digress for a second. So the other day I was making a comment on some video. I think it was Global News or something. And they were beaking off about Trump, right? And I didn't know what they were beaking off about. I just saw they were beaking off again, man. It's just a blah, 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 blah. It's like no offense, and please forgive me if I offend any feminine, mankind of feminine origin. But anytime somebody bitches like this, I've been like this. I don't know if you're like this or not, but it's been this way all my life, right? That somebody natter, bitch. I just get this fucking headache. I can't hear anymore. I can't concentrate. I have to walk away. I really do. It just, all it does is short circuit in my head. I don't know what it is. maybe, you know, maybe when I was a baby there was too much bitch going on or something. But now, like if you know, and I'm talking, you know, anyone of mankind, bitch, I just get this fucking headache and I gotta leave. So, oh shit, I just lost what I was thinking of. I see I got this headache just thinking about bitch. Oh yeah, so it's actually a French Anglo word, and you know, up here. Oh yeah, that's what. Yeah, so yeah, so I mentioned, hey, you know, I just said, I just wrote like, you know, I wish we had a man like that up here in what used to be, you know, what could have been or used to be the Great White North. Oh man, people got on me because they took it wrong. This whole texting thing sucks. It really sucks because you lose the intent. You lose the intent of what you mean. What you mean to get across. Oh geez, oh yeah, so no, I had a Muhammad dude, you know, saying something. He was polite enough and I was just like, oh shit, look what I wrote. Oh geez, they can misinterpret that as some kind of supremacy bullshit. So, you know, any newcomers to this land, to this nation, and even to this de facto country, the Great White North is because we got 10 months of winter. That's why we call it the Great White North. Not for any other reason. Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus, man. That's disgusting that you have to be so careful of what you say. Oh, my God. Oh. Oof. So, yeah. I showed my son that when he got home. I says, oh, I think I fucked up, man. Take a look at this. Can you imagine? Writing something like that. You can't take it back either. Because it's now on the World Wide Web. But that was my tent. And, you know, this whole thing, I mean, there's no way that any man or woman on this land, or anyone in between, any of us of mankind, should be scared of our public service and scared to open your mouth, because then freedom of expression is gone. If freedom of expression is gone, then there's no freedom. You don't live in the free world anymore. There is no freedom. What's that fucking Merkel going on? Well, to keep freedom, we have to get rid of free speech. They knew they made a mistake when they started taking over the Western world and the free world. The establishment, and I imagine that's the UN guy. I mean, who runs the UN? China, Venezuela? I mean, these countries, these dictatorships. Did you guys see that Chinaman, that man, Chinese, that was in that little torture chair being interrogated by the coppers? Oh, fuck. Hey, Greta, I agree with you. How dare you? How fucking dare you? You can't do that. Not here. And listen, folks. It's coming soon to a theater near you. If you and I don't do shit about it. So that was what I wish to talk about. Like, yeah, you know, I don't know. I have my ups and downs because I'm, you know, part of the medical fucking association, do my CBD oil and stuff. I did find some of the dog deworming stuff. Like, as soon as people start buying it in Canada for their cancer, which is saving lives, the establishment here all of a sudden made it so you have to have a prescription from a vet so that you and I can't access it, so that you and I lose the ability to cure ourselves of cancer. Yeah, isn't that fucking wonderful? But I found some in the Ukraine. I found lots in China, but here's the thing about China. I don't really trust them. You know, maybe Taiwan, maybe Hong Kong. I think it was Hong Kong, you know. Yeah, but I found it by the kilogram fairly inexpensive from another country, which, you know, it could be shady too. But what do? You know, what the hell do you do? I mean, I like that's what I say. That man down there, down south, that acts as the president. I mean, he gave people the right to try. The right to try. So terminally ill people. So how the hell does this work? If you legislate that an unborn child or an unborn baby, because I hate the word child, but an unborn baby is not human, but a parasite, so it's okay to kill them, and we don't need any regulations, rules, or law. I mean, you can just kill them to whenever, because it's a parasite, but yet you don't have the right to try. Well, the establishment doesn't allow YOUU a right to try to save your life with maybe experimental medication, deworming powder for dogs. It's the safeguard stuff, guys. It's the 22%. But I found it in the kilogram from another country, 20%, and I forget the name of the active ingredient. But it's I'm talking to a man, that should be dead, and he's alive, man. He's alive, and kept working and kept his life going during the whole time. So it's just like the establishment here to attack its servants, because when you volunteer servitude to the establishment here, you became their servant. And so now we have the cart leading the horse. Now we have the tail wagging the dog. And so, getting back to, whatever it is that happened in your life that you see in your mind's eye right now, where you seen it later that you shoulda or coulda, woulda done something different if you knew better, if you knew at the time. Woulda, shoulda, and coulda. They're three demonic entities. They used to be my best friends, caused me nothing but grief. Thank God I learned how to cast out demons. Okay, so, anyways, so it's not what you do, it's what you don't do that does cause trouble in your life. There is no law that forces anyone of mankind to involuntary servitude on this land. In fact, that is why we are not the Western world. This is why exactly we are the free world. The free world used to be a common acronym. No, it's not an acronym, is it? But a common name for this land and other lands. And this is what I keep telling people. The Indians got sucked in, okay? Our native cousins, who are also of mankind, got sucked in to being called Indians. And so they created something called the Indian Act. And because the establishment created this act, now anyone who identifies, now falls under the act. So when a lot of the treaties were signed, they agreed to identify as an Indian, and they agreed to voluntary servitude if they wish to identify as an Indian. So here's what we're going to do for you. We're going to give you this chunk of land. We're going to give you a certain amount of dough per person, but you have to have a democratic elected chief. Now forget your hereditary chief, and let's forget about a very important position. It's the woman's position. It's the matriarch. Okay, let's forget about the matriarch and let's just have an elected, sellout chief, right? And then what we can do is, like, you remember that Snickers bar woman In her protest, she was there on the Rideau Canal in her tent, getting fatter and fatter, eating Snickers bars. Some kind of like, she identified as a hunger strike. So therefore it was a hunger strike. You know? So it's a Snicker bar, you know, hunger strike. Now I had seen something on that reserve, a number of years before her so-called hunger strike. And where they had, it was her reserve, and I'm pretty sure about this, okay? Okay, I'm not assuming liability for it, but I do presume that it was this exact same reserve. The federal, okay, oh man, okay, these government agents go up there, so-called engineers, and you know what an engineer's favorite saying is, right? You know, should be good, eh? What could go wrong? That's a Canadian engineer because it's got the A in there, right? A. So anyways, I got my plaid shirt on, so I don't know if anybody knows about those plaid shirt guys, but I'm wearing my plaid shirt, so I'm official now. Anyways, so they were, and I've touched base on this in another film, but they when they set up the sewer and water, okay, so they got this river coming down. Okay, so you got a river flowing down, all right, in this direction. Okay, I think the reserve town, that village is, you know, somewhere around here or somewhere down here, I don't know. But they got the sewage. Oh, they got the sewage going in up here. Okay, so the sewage is going upstream. And the water intake for the water treatment is downstream. So they're shitting in their water and collecting the water downstream. Well, now this is our public service, okay? These are agencies or NGOs or whatever that act. Now, nobody is that stupid. Nobody is that dumb. Nobody makes a mistake like this by accident, okay? This is what I would call an error. I don't like this pen. It's supposed to be red and it's orange. Orange, fucking orange. Red. Ah. I don't know. I think that's how you spell it. But anyway. Error means that they did it on purpose. Okay? A mistake means that, yeah, you knew better, but you're willing to correct it. An error is you knew better and you did it to fucking cause harm. Alright? Error and wrong. To me, that whole scene about collecting water downstream from where they're exhaling the shit is wrong. And it was an error. Nobody's that stupid to make that kind of mistake. What's going on in our universities? Engineers are kind of the people that you want to trust. You know? They're the ones who design overpasses and bridges and stuff. You know, things that we don't want to fall down on top of people. But you have to understand that the establishment does not wish to see mankind on this land, because their authority over mankind is only if there's been a wrong. Okay, so it's like a breach of peace. Okay, their authority resides over those who are in voluntary servitude. Now, have you put yourself into voluntary servitude? Think about that. Do you have a hunting license? Do you have a driver's license? Do you have a PAL? Do you have a SIN card? Do you have, you know, on and on and on. All right? Voluntary servitude, that's exactly what that is. Now, how did we do this? We did it because what you don't do. What you don't do. You see, it's not It's not what you did by getting some kind of license or recognition to operate within the corporate body politic or or say Canada's society. And I'm not talking about I'm talking about the corporate body structure. I'm not talking about the nation, okay? Every one of us from this land has a right to be seen as part of the nation. We are all of mankind. We are all brothers and sisters. We are all of this land. Therefore, we all have something in common. We are all the same because we are of this land. Now, every one of us is unique. Right. Now, and that's what gives us flavor. You know, I was talking to a government lady yesterday. Man, I couldn't believe, I had talked to one of her counterparts. I talked to one of her counterparts, and I couldn't believe how courteous and polite this man was. And then I went in another day, and I talked to somebody that was filling in his spot, and she wasn't very polite, she wasn't very nice, she wasn't very courteous, and really didn't give a fuck. And so I had to go in again yesterday, and there was another woman that I've seen there a number of times, and I had to compliment her. She was a very lovely woman. He was a very lovely man. And I don't mean it in a, whatever ways you perverts like to take it. But the courtesy, the respect, was awesome. Like it's a lot of us deal with government agents. We get these, you remember the old horn-rimmed glasses, the 1950s style that old lady Kravitz used to wear? What do you want? You can't do that. You got to do this, this, this. Right? Yeah, but no, it just, it blew me away. Like, I got treated better there than I did at when was the last time I received such courtesy at a private business that there I was going in to actually spend my money at? Been a while. So, anyways, so the whole deal is, look, you think you're fucked, okay? You get this piece of paper in the mail, and it reads blah, 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 blah. But you have a right. Now, you don't want to be in error. I think it's E-R-R-O-R. Where's the E-R-O? Hey, can I tell you, I'm just a guy. Fuck. Hey. Yeah, it sucks. Yeah, you guys are telling me how to spell it already, aren't you? Let's see. Yeah, there we go. Okay, I did spell it right. Oh, well, I'm insecure when it comes to spelling. Especially, like, first off, talking to a camera sucks, man. I have these phone calls that I've helped out, where folks that I help out. And so the other night I was on a conference call with a man that I did help out with a number of issues. There were some court issues, there was some tax issues, and another man, that a friend of his that was looking or interested in maybe manning up in life. And so we're having this call, and fucking awesome calls, and so I'm thinking of maybe getting some help. That's my biggest problem is look, I'm learning the technology. Okay, it was the Harleys that forced me into it, forced me to buy my first laptop so that I could tune up the new ones. I found out that I had a real love for using software to dial up the new hogs. In fact, it's quite simple and easy, and especially if you understand the personality of the motorcycle, the engine, the engine's personality, and if you understand, secondary and final gear ratios and so on and so forth. It's awesome. It's awesome. So I think that's what, where the Lord led me, to get into the computer. So, I'm looking at, okay, so I'm watching these guys like the Plaid Army dudes. sorry guys, not dudes, but the Plant Army guys. And, you know, and I'm watching them, okay, and, you know, there's 3 or 4 of them on there, and I'm wondering how they, I've seen, you know, who's that guy in Toronto that I enjoy listening to also? He's an actor. But anyways, I enjoy listening to him, and I see him live streaming. Okay, that looks simple enough. So I did get myself set up to do some live streaming. But I don't know how to do that multiple window thing where I could have somebody that I've worked with, and we could have a guest. Or I could have somebody I worked with, and maybe somebody that's just going through something that we're helping, or I'm helping, that we can both pick on, you know, in public. Or whatever, you know, like, you know, for fun, eh, guys? Satire is not lost with me. So what am I going to do about satire? All right, so I've gone off here. Oh, yeah, error. I spelled it correct. All right. So, error. Okay, so what are we going to do about this? You say, well, what can you do? You can't fight City Hall. What can you do? Oh, yeah. No, but what you can do is you can hold the man or woman in charge of City Hall accountable for their actions, for any wrong or error they put upon you, that they lay upon your shoulders, that they dump upon your head. You know, this is, okay, so, you know, I'm ranting how I don't enjoy going to church because there's so much bullshit. It's just so weak. Like, I forget whose show I was watching. It was probably the Plaid Shirt Army guys, Raging Humanist, but you know, 9,000, or no, it wasn't. It was whoever. It was someone. It was a man, from up here in the Great White North. But you know, going on about what 9,000 Christian churches are closed and whatever. Okay, why though? You know, like if the strong survive and the weak die off, why? And so, like, you know, there's an old biblical thing, and I've heard Christians use this as like hatred towards their fellow man, and I'm not kidding. It's like, you know, it's whatever. How does it go? You know, your neighbor that offends you, blah, blah, blah. So, like, if he comes, you know, and if your neighbor offends you and you do good to him, it's like heaping coals upon his head. Okay, and every one of these pseudo-Christian, watered-down fucking weenies, or shit. They use this saying, yeah, I did them good, and that's going to reap. You know, they're doing good to their fellow man that is, you know, spitefully treated them, and going, yeah, it's going to be coals upon their head. When actually what the custom was, even though your neighbor does you wrong, and your neighbor despitefully uses you or treats you poorly, if he comes over back in the old days, okay, making fire was life or death. And if your fire went out and your neighbor came to you and asked you for coals, even though he's a spiteful old bastard, right, that has treated you so poorly, you're supposed to, they used to carry the clay pots on their heads. So instead of giving them a few coals, what Jesus was talking about in the Bible was you heap it, you give him more than he needs to go and get his fire started. And like I say, these churches are going, you know, I've heard this many times, yeah, you're going to hell and brimfire. You know, I don't see much love and or respect in a lot of the churches I've been to. I see a lot of you know, like hard line.
Well, just fucking do it.
I don't know. You know, these guys should probably make better ISIS members than you would Christians. But anyways, you know, same thing with the whole Jew thing. I think I told these guys about. You know, they say, well, yeah, the Jews are cursed because it was the tribe of Judea that killed Jesus. No, it wasn't. It was the Sanhedrin. It was the legal society of the day the Jew, the word Jew came from the legal society. Basically, it wasn't the tribe of